Testing. There we go. Let me see. Testing. There we go. Let me see. All right, I can hear myself. Cool. Howdy. We're going to be getting started in just a moment. Getting some more things prepared behind the scenes so I can actually continue on with the build. If you guys caught our last live stream, we started on these drawerbinet units. The whole name drawerbinet I kind of copied from Lincoln Street Woodworks. He came up with the idea, or the first person on YouTube that I've seen do this idea. Essentially making upper cabinet units that pull out like drawers. And we've been knocking them out. We have 5 more to do. But then I also took another idea from another woodworker on YouTube, John Heights. He did the full extension wooden drawer slides. So all the drawer slides on these drawerbinet units are all made of wood. So we have a few more units that we need to make, a couple more to mount. We have some more doors that we need to actually make. I made all the doors and everything else out of probably the most minimalistic material that I could. 1/4-inch plywood, 1/2-inch mahogany. They're all made from leftover scraps. It's like, this is an off rip. The other edges never even got milled. But this is going to make up my last 2 rails, or last 4 rails for these water doors. This was a test piece that I used when I was building up my mahogany door, and I was testing out tenons and stuff. I'm going to resaw this and make some more styles. This is just another leftover rip. So pretty much just using leftover mahogany is how I did all the doors. And the panels are just 1/4-inch plywood, glued and stapled to the backside. And then the insides, the actual drawerbinet units, they're just pretty much leftover 1/2-inch OSB, some, just scraps laying around the shop. So we have a few more to build. I'm going to try to get, this done before it's time to go inside and eat. It's the game plan. My mom is almost done cooking inside. So I figured while I'm out here, I've already made videos or recorded all the footage on how I actually build the drawerbinet units and how to build the doors. So I figured instead of not recording any of it, go live and show you guys how I actually build the drawerbinet units. That light is flickering a little bit. I don't like that. I wish I could dim these. But yeah, we have 5 more to do. I have all the parts cut for one of them. So we're going to head over to the table saw, cut up all the pieces that we need, and then start slapping them together. We might actually start off with assembling the doors that I already have cut and ready. Because before I can install the doors on the units, I need to apply finish. So we'll probably start by assembling all these doors, and then we'll start building the drawerbinet units. And then we'll probably put these together, apply finish, build the drawerbinet units. While the drawerbinet units are going together, these will be drying. Then we'll probably swap up like that. So let me move the camera. I'm going to set up on that side. And we're going to go ahead and assemble all of our doors. Let's bring the camera around to this side. We're using 1-inch pocket screws and the Craig face frame clamp. Let's put together the face frames. We'll grab one of the drills. And then I put the Craig pocket hole bit back up because I'm responsible. Oh. maybe I'm not responsible. I remember a lot of people were in the garage this week. Oh, won't get much done if I can't find my pocket hole bit. I know I have one in my truck. I don't want to have to go grab that. But I might have to. Or did I leave it on the other side of the bench? That is probably the most annoying part about having a shop is using stuff and then not knowing where you put stuff. Because yeah, I've been kind of working all around the drawerbinet units. There we go. Yeah, I figured it was over here where I was working at. Hey, how you doing? Found it. Let me actually tilt the camera down so the lights don't do that. So actually,
Where you go?
I'm live.
Huh?
I'm live. Alright, so we have our face frame pieces, styles, rails. The rails go horizontal, styles go vertical. So essentially we're just going to assemble a picture frame. You want to make sure that these can actually go together flush. Sometimes when you drill your pocket holes, there's a little bit of wood sticking out on the ends. So just make sure you have all that cleaned up. Butt them together nice and tight. You'll come back with your face frame or your, I forget what it's called, flush clamp. I use it for face frame, so I call it my face frame clamp. Clamp that into position. Grab your 1-inch pocket screws and then start locking the frame together. And you want to make sure that you get everything nice and flush on the edges, because when I cut everything, it's based on the dimensions that I want it for each one of the drawerbinet units. Let me slide this down this way a little bit. There we go. Flip it around to repeat it. Also, anybody watching, hope you guys are having a great Thanksgiving. This is just my way of burning up some time while I wait for the food to be ready. Lucky for me, my shop is attached to my parents' house. There we go. Last one. I need to put together the other three. Go ahead and route everything, sand it real quick, and then I can attach them all. Back panels. Again, not the traditional way that I build doors, but again, this whole entire project is me using minimal materials, and these are going to get solidly attached to a 1/2-inch backing. So once everything's mounted together, I don't have to worry about the doors cupping or bowing, because the drawerbinet unit themselves will actually keep everything nice and flat. We might not get to me finishing all of these today, or well, on this live stream, I might actually go live again after I eat and the rest of the family leaves. But hopefully I can get these doors assembled, get the finish on them, routed, sanded, and probably build the drawerbinet boxes. So then tonight, only thing I gotta do is actually go back and install everything into the cabinets. My goal is just to get that wall over there finished up. I want to add French cleats over there so I can organize the space a little bit more. And I guess as a real quick show for those who are coming in and out, what we're tackling today is I've been building a section of drawerbinet units. These are essentially pull-out drawers for upper cabinets. Lincoln Street Woodworks is where I got the idea from. Pretty much having your upper cabinet units pull out so you can reach them. You know, like if it was all the way in the back of the drawer or in the cabinet, you can't reach something all the way in the back of your upper cabinets. So by having them on pull-out drawers, I have access to the sides of each one of these. So anything's stored in there, I can grab out of the cabinet within reason. I still have some organization right now. I just have a bunch of junk stored up there, but I'm probably going to add actual organizers, dividers. I'm planning to actually make one that's going to hold all my saw blades, and then several dowels sticking out on one side that holds tape. I have like rolls of edge banding that are just kind of hanging loose. So kind of setting up a couple different dividers. I have 5 more cabinets that I need to actually build, so I kind of have options to play around with. But the goal is to get these 3 doors that I'm putting together now are not all of them. I need to put together these 3, and then there's 2 more units that are going to be different size. Pretty much out of the 10 over there, 8 of them are the same size. 2 of them are a little bit larger. I built the first 8 units all the exact same size. The middle unit, which was the last 2 banks, were custom fit to fit in between the other 8. So that's what we got planned for the day. The door panels are pretty simple. This is a piece of 1/4-inch plywood. I had taped around the perimeter to lacquer just the center section. These are going to get stapled and glued to the back section of this mahogany. I'm going to go ahead and route and chamfer the edges, sand everything up, and then I can attach everything, put a finish on it, and then these can get hung up. I want to get all the doors finished, and then want to build the last 5 pull-out units. Then I'll show you guys how the mounting and the installation works, and I'll show you guys how the full extension wooden drawer slides work. Again, how much am I going to get done before I go inside and eat? I don't know, but I'm here to hang out with you guys until then. and try to get something done. I've already recorded all the footage on how this process works that I actually need. So I did like the last 3 of them without anybody seeing it, and I figured instead of me finishing these other 5, let me try to do it on live so people get a chance to see it before it comes out in like 3 months. So everyone here, I do greatly appreciate you guys tuning in. You guys are getting to see content that won't hit YouTube for a while. I think Instagram will probably get it in the next month, give or take. But the long format content, the detailed video and stuff like that, that's not going to be on YouTube for at least another month or 2. Funny enough, I had just grabbed the router and I put it back. I actually need that. So I'm going to need to route all these, sand these real quick before I install them, and then I can apply the finish. But again, everybody who's tuning in, I greatly appreciate it, and I hope you guys are either just ate, getting ready to eat, or maybe you guys are tuning in with all your family, which I greatly appreciate too. I smelled the food though. My mom had just opened the door to come out here and check on me. Smells great. I am excited. I might grab my bench dogs. Make this a little bit easier. This is the last one. And that's one thing again, you want to double check. I just put these 2 together and they didn't close up. Just means that there's a little bit of wood sticking out from when I actually drilled the pocket hole. Just kind of clean up the hole a little bit, because you want those to meet nice and solid. You can apply glue to this joint, but again, after I'm going to actually glue the plywood that gets stapled to the back side, and then this is going to get screwed to the actual drawerbinet units. I'm not too worried about the joints failing or the cabinet door itself falling apart, because I'm also going to take a handle and kind of bolt it through too. So I'm not too worried about these falling apart. If these were doors that were going to be hanging on their own, I would be worried about them cupping or something. These are going to be fastened to another structure. All right. Let me grab the router, hit the outsides, sand all of these, and then we can grab the staple gun and the symbol. And they're still all the same width. Cool. Let me grab the router. These are only going to get a slight round over, nothing major. I was debating on a chamfer or something, but I think a slight round over is more than enough of a profile. Since this is only 1/2 inch, I do need to hang it off the bench because the bearing and everything else will be rubbing up against the bench. All right. Next thing I need to do is to sand all these, and then I can go ahead and assemble them, and then I can apply the finish. These are fresh off the planer, so I can start off at 120 grit. One of them, though, didn't come out flush, and one of the screws kind of poked through down here at this corner. Will that focus? So I'm actually going to hit that with a little bit of black CA glue before I sand it, just to keep it from separating, and two, really just to keep it from separating. And I don't like the idea of a crack line showing, so I'd much rather all that be filled in. And it looks like I'm gonna hit that again. Alright, sand all these, then we'll assemble all the doors, and then what we'll do next, because I do have one drawerbinet unit already cut and it's already sitting up there, I'm probably going to bring that over here on the bench, assemble that while I'm applying, after I apply finish these. And if these are dry enough, we'll go ahead and install one of the drawerbinet units, then probably come back to the table saw, and depending on what time it is at that point, either call the live, a break, come back later tonight around like 7 or 8 o'clock, pick back up, we'll see. Yeah, I can see that that hole or that crack is completely filled. Just soaked a lot of it up. So let's put some more down in there so when I sand everything flush, I don't see a crack or a gap. It's good to keep some black and some clear CA glue on hand in the shop for stuff like this. We'll come back and hand sand the actual rounded portion and the inside and outside after we hit them all with the orbital. All right, gotta do that 2 more times, and then I can assemble the doors, and then we can go ahead and start putting together. Again, probably one of those drawerbinet units. I definitely want to try to get one installed on this live stream with the drawer front attached. Then maybe later tonight, actually build the other 4 units and attach the drawers, because hopefully the doors would all be built. Fingers crossed. I still have 2 more doors to build, and I have to mill up that scrap mahogany over there to finish up the other 2 doors. But luckily for these doors, I'm not going to worry about hitting the back at all, because these going to be flush attached. Well, it's going to be a panel here, and then this panel is going to get attached to the actual drawerbinet unit. So you're never going to see the back side of these. So at least it saves me a little bit of sanding. At least in my head. It's probably going to be another woodworker that comes in here and like pulls out my drawers and peeks around the back and says, "Oh, you didn't sand." But I don't think I have to really worry about that too much. My goal is just to make these feel good to the hand. I don't want to feel any splinters, you know. Yeah. You don't want to be touching these beautiful doors and then come back with a splinter. So make them look pretty, make them feel good, and then that's good enough for me. And I get to use up a ton of scraps. And I'm seeing this bench here. I'm guessing because it's white, the lights are like reflecting and doing that glare thing. Don't know how to fix that. I wonder if I turn off my fan light, will that fix it? And it just did it. I probably have to paint or redo this top. Like a matte black or something. Or maybe paint the ceiling, paint the walls and stuff. Stop the light from bouncing. It's definitely nice how bright it is in here, but I don't like how it flares up on the camera like that whenever I move. Or maybe it's my glasses reflecting stuff. Take those off. No, still does it. That was my attempt to fix it. All right, that is 2 out of 3. One more. Almost done. Definitely hate hand sanding. I want to get, I think it's Surf Prep that has like the foam pad attachments for their sanders, so you can sand contours and stuff like that without like ruining your details. Let me blow this off. grab some staples. I do have to take a quick leak. Alright, let me grab the staples. We're going to be using 1/2-inch staples. There's my glue on this side. Yes, it is. Glue, 1/2-inch staples. I can't remember. I want to say that this was sized to be an inch smaller. Because I remember I taped up 3/4 of an inch. The inside of here is 8 3/16. That black spot. That's 10. Yeah. So it's an inch larger. So is it the same for the vertical? 23 1/4. 21. So yeah, if I mark an inch all the way around the frame and then just put glue on this 3/4 inch unpainted surface and then drop it up there, we're all good. Let me grab my staple gun and we're going to assemble these 3 doors. And we're using 1/2-inch staples. The drawerbinet door fronts, if you would, they're 1/2-inch thick. Our plywood is 1/4 inch thick, so 1/2-inch staples would be the best option for that to keep it from blowing through. Put those over there. So I'm going to set the gauge for 1 inch. Don't really need to mark the top. I just need to do the bottom where I'm going to reference off of. And these have been lacquered, and I went ahead and wet sanded them afterwards. I'm going to end up using a teak oil on all the mahogany face frames. So I'll probably do like a little buff at the very end of everything. Maybe paste wax all of it. Once I'm all done and my fingerprints are no longer going to smudge up everything. Probably after I figure out what I want to do for drawer handles. I'm either going to buy some or make some. But I am running low on hardwood. I do have some beech left over that I think will make some nice handles that will match pretty closely. Beech is like a lighter red-brown color than mahogany is. So I flip it over. Line it up on those 2 lines there. Bring it down to those 2. Oh, I slid it. just like that, we have another door. And there's door number 2. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm not sure if you just joined in, but I do want to show you what we're tackling. We are currently building drawerbinet units. Lincoln Street Woodworks over on YouTube had came up with the idea, or the first person I've seen use the idea, pretty much pull out upper cabinets. So I copied that idea and I'm making a bank of them all over here on this wall inside of my shop. This is all made from leftover OSB 1/2-inch plywood, typically junk, not really much else you can do with it. But by doing this style of cabinet, once you throw the drawerbinet unit in there, you can't see any of the OSB. It's all completely covered by the interior unit, which again I am making out of some more scraps. But then I also copied John Heights over on YouTube. He did wooden full extension drawer slides, and that's how all of these operate. So none of these have metal drawer slides on them. They're all wooden drawer slides, and I have them all made up here. So the goal for the day is to put together these last few doors while waiting for dinner, and then maybe get over there to actually start installing a couple of the units. I have these 3 doors, which would get me a total of 8 up there because there's 5 now. I have 2 more that I need to build. The other 2 are going to be a little bit larger, so it'll be different size doors. So I'm going to get these other 3 up there and then delve into the last 2 probably after dinner is what I'm thinking. All right. Now I remember, because again, all this was made from my leftover mahogany scraps. These ones, the styles are skinnier. Then these are like 1 3/8 versus the 1 5/8 that I did. So it snapped the same 1 inch reveal all the way around. This one is 8 3/4 on the inside, and my painted section is 8 3/4. So I need to actually line this up extremely carefully. So I'm going to mark, should be 3/4 of an inch. Yeah, 3/4 of an inch is how much the panel needs to reveal. I might be off a little bit. I probably should have painted it a little bit closer, but it still is 1 inch off of the bottom. That does not change. So we'll mark that. And then we'll change it to 3/4 of an inch. And the important thing is I need 3/4 of an inch to where my pencil head is. So let me check that. And can actually go a little bit deeper. And that's good. So yeah, I'm gonna flush it up on one side to this 3/4 of an inch mark, and hopefully you only see the black exposed. This one's actually fairly tight on that. And that's just because I wanted to leave some room for me to actually be able to glue these. I could have painted the whole thing black, but then, glue wouldn't do me any good here. So, and then me just wanted to use some of the scraps that I had. I didn't want to, pretty much these strips would have been useless because they weren't wide enough. They want 1 5/8. But I was like, oh, they're long enough. Use them. It won't make a difference. That's why thinking ahead is extremely important. On those lines, I'm on those lines. So theoretically, when I flip this over, I should only see black. I really hope I got it right. And pretty good. Just barely. There's just a little bit of white right or unfinished right there, but I'm not going to worry about it. This is close enough. So now I can actually grab a rag and my bowl and apply teak oil to these door fronts. And then I probably should clear off that table over there, so I can stack them over there, assemble the other thing over here. Makes sense. There, and then we'll probably apply the finish over here, then bring them all to this table. The finish of choice for these will be teak oil. too much for these 3 doors. We grab the gloves and a rag. I just had a rag out actually. Don't know where it is. I move the nail gun out of the way. Take this out of the way. Put that underneath the table. That doesn't need to be up here. This can go under here. I can go back in my pocket. Can go in my pocket. That goes over there. Alright, with teak oil, just like Danish oil, or most other oil finishes, they're pretty easy to apply. Use yourself a clean rag. Doesn't matter if the teak oil goes on top of this lacquer finish. It's not going to ruin the lacquer. Actually, I don't even think it will absorb any. Even if it does, it won't hurt the lacquered finish. But all you have to do is wet, saturate your rag, and then rub it on. And to give you guys a bit of a close-up without the brightness of the light, you can see how the finish brings that to life. Raw wood is typically dry, unsaturated. Once you apply any type of finish to it, essentially saturates the wood, keeps it saturated, and you get to see the natural look of the wood itself. Just like if I went with a clear lacquer, all of them will probably look about the same. Some finishes, like a oil polyurethane, might brown it a little bit more than others. Lacquer is a pretty clear coat. This being a teak oil, it does have a slight browning to it, but I think it's one of the easiest and one of the best natural finish, not natural finishes, but oil finishes. Because unfortunately, teak oil isn't just pure teak oil. It's a bunch of other additives, solvents and whatnot. But you want to get all of the mahogany saturated, and then once I do that, I'm just going to take a quick wipe over top of the lacquer and then make sure that I get all of the edges. Hey, how you doing, man? And happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, this is just a quick live I'm trying to do. I think the last one I did, my phone died like halfway through. We were doing the drawerbinet units. And since then, I've actually put together a good couple of them. I'll show you where after I get this finish applied. And the drawerbinet units need some more doors. Pretty much I recorded all the footage I need for the actual YouTube videos. So I just started doing them off screen. And I figured it's probably going to be at least 2 or 3 months before YouTube actually gets them in form of any type of video, whether it be short to long form. So I figured go live and try to show this build before I make the actual videos. I'm working online, SEO prep. Oh. So you off today? Oop, I didn't get that edge. You want to make sure everything gets nice and saturated. Make sure I got everything. So you've just been busy this entire week. Understandable, getting everything prepped for everybody who's getting ready to go out and buy stuff. Supporting everyone's Black Friday and Cyber Monday promos. Any tool deals to actually know about? You wouldn't happen to be doing it for any tool companies like Woodcraft or something. Do you have the inside scoops on the free saw stops? Alright, that's another door done. In about another 20-30 minutes, I'll come back with a clean rag and give that a complete wipe down. But I want to get this bench clear because after I finish applying the finish, we're probably going to put together one of the drawerbinet units and see if we can get that one installed. And if we can, we'll get that one installed and then move on to my whole interface will change. What do you mean? Really? Yeah, see, that's how somebody like me goes broke. I can't have that kind of... From where? And what kind of bits? Were they like good quality bits or were they like, Harbor Freight or like Ryobi bits? Because I have a bunch of Ryobi bits and they have served me great. And the 80-piece set for $7, I guess it really doesn't matter what kind of bits they are. But, Amazon bits? Like just a bunch of different profiles? 80 bits is a lot. I couldn't even, 80 different router bits. It's a lot of profiles. And I might have to, because an 80-bit set for $7 is kind of insane. Even if I burned them up after one use, I'm going to make a bunch of really cool doors. What's up, Pop? Well, is the food done? Okay. Well, yeah, I'll stop in a second. There are duplicates, of course. Oh, a bunch of duplicates, and most commonly used. Yeah, but straight bits, chamfer bits, keyhole bits. Yeah, I can't even name it. 40 different bits off the top of my head. So even if it's duplicates, there's probably some variety in there that I don't have. I definitely need a bunch of router bits. I have a couple different pattern bits, but I don't have enough. Different lengths. I definitely want profiling bits for the edge of my pieces. And when I build these actual drawerbinet units, before I do that, two things. What you guys should do with your oily rags after you finish a project like this, either lay them on the concrete somewhere away from wood. In my case, I have a metal toolbox. That's right here. I like to wheel it away from any of my benches, and then I lay it out flat right there. So heaven forbid if it does catch fire, it's fire on top of a metal toolbox away from any other wood that could catch fire. It's kind of just what I do. Let it air dry, and then I toss it. Gloves can go in the trash. Basic roundovers, etc. They're not high quality or whatever. Or for 85 cents. Yeah, for 85 cents a piece. Again, a bit that goes dull. And for one thing, a bunch of roundover bits. This is one thing I do want. So I want to be able to make a bunch of dowels. So like having all the different roundover sizes, I can definitely make all the dowels I could possibly want. I don't like buying them. I prefer to make my own dowels, especially I have a scrap wood issue. So whenever I have scrap woods, I'd rather make my own 3/8 and 1/2 inch dowels. And then this bowl I'm gonna rinse out and then toss it. Fire safety. Definitely want to be careful with all your used rags and flammables inside of your shop. But yeah, Mike, you haven't seen these. I think the thing died right before we got there on the last stream. Or I think you actually had to go. The drawerbinet units. We have a total of 5 of them done. And they all pull out. Get the camera to look in there. They're full extension. They're the full depth of the box. I'm using John Heights wooden full extension drawer slides on each one of these. The slide pretty freaking awesome in my opinion. There's no real complaints on it. I loaded a bunch of stuff in there. I think like this one has a full gallon of glue and 2 boxes of 3-inch framing nails up there. Just because of space. I probably should have made these cabinets like 20 inches deep just so I could have had more storage. Each one of the drawerbinet units are like 11 inches deep. So like they're not super storage rich, but they definitely give me flexibility and options. But we have our other 3 doors over there. The next step is to, let me look, I bet they would sell, see, or a dowel plate. I probably should buy a dowel plate instead of actually using a bunch of router bits. So my dad also just came out here and told me that the food is ready. So I think I'm going to call it until after I eat. After I eat, I'll probably come back and build the other units. 25-foot and 1/4-inch dowel rod for $2. I like to make them out of various exotic woods. So like a dowel plate would be an interesting pickup for me. Or again, a bunch of router bits. I don't like buying dowels themselves because I like to make them out of hardwoods. So I can make them out of like walnut or red oak or mahogany or whatever I have laying around. So ways to make dowels is what I'd be more interested in. Like either a good dowel plate or again, a bunch of router bits. Like if it's a 3/8 inch router bit, I can make 3/4 inch dowels. 1/8 inch router bit, I can make 1/4 inch dowels. So, I think my router bit collection is not the best. I'll show you real quick because I am about to sign off in just a second. It's not the most in depth, but there are a lot of assorted bits. So yeah, like I have a cove bit, pattern bit for hinges, a couple keyhole bits, another straight bit, but it's a short one, starter peg, a couple chamfer bits, multiple roundovers, but those 2 are the exact same size, rabbiting bit, and a couple different pattern bits, and then my coping stick bits on my cabinet doors. So like I definitely need a larger assortment of router bits. But yes, guys, we have been on for an hour. Everybody that's here now, I greatly appreciate you guys. Mike, I always appreciate you stopping by. I want to say is I'll probably be back in like another 2 or 3 hours. I'm probably about to eat, hang out with the family, and then I have the doors done. So what I want to do is build at least the other 3 drawerbinet units. Get those installed. Get the doors attached. The other 2 in the middle might be kind of like a last minute. Might do those later because I haven't even built the doors for them. So when I go back live tonight, we will build the other 3 units, get those installed, and mount the doors. The 2 in the middle, I'll probably do on my own time. Damn. So yeah, I wish I can get discounted tools. That's kind of like part of why I'm doing the whole YouTube thing. one of these days, Festool or SawStop's gonna be like, here's a brand new tool. But yeah, Mike, I appreciate you. Everybody appreciate you. I'm about to run inside and grab some food. So happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I'll be seeing you guys in another couple hours, give or take. Appreciate everyone for stopping by. And yes, I will be back on again, probably in like 2 or 3 hours, give or take. But yeah, about to go get fat. So hopefully everybody else is doing the same or has already done the same. And peace.